You're watching YanaTV.
Hi, this is Yana and you're watching YanaTV. And today with us we have Lynn Rose. Lynn is a high peak performance expert. She's a media entrepreneur and she has been hired by Fortune 500 companies to wow their audience and bring out the brilliance in their speakers on stage. So Lynn, thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
joining us today.
Thank you.
That sounds like an incredible job to have. But you have.
It's a lot, right?
Yes, it's a lot. So can you please tell us what it is that you do?
Oh, yes. Just translate that,
Yes,
would you?
please.
Right? Yes. Okay. So I play in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. So as a speaker and as an entertainer and having been a TV host, Fortune 500 companies hire me to come into their events, MC, speak, or entertain, and get their audience on fire, inspired, and ready to take action. And I love it. And I really bring the high performance piece to what I do when it comes to the speaking, and then sometimes training their companies around what I call the inside out approach to speaking. Because when you're in companies, you really need to make sure your message connects with your clients or in your presentations, right?
Yes.
So that's like the in front of the scenes and behind the scenes.
The most juicy, interesting part.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, I've supported others to be able to show up in their brilliance on stage, in their presentations, in front of videos. And I've done that for over a decade and trained billion-dollar CEOs, celebrities, famous thought leaders, to people just starting out. And it's a unique process that's from the inside out. And so it makes them have a quantum leap in their in the power of how they show up and their ability and their results. And so it's really amazing to see when someone can shift in an instant. So I do that, and then I brought that to another layer, having been a media entrepreneur,
Yes.
as you said.
Yes.
And then I support experts, whether that's real estate, lawyers, speakers, authors, coaches, CEOs, being able to get their message out there and launch to leading status in their industry. So we do the branding, we get the strategy right, the monetization strategy, we get that messaging down, and then we create the media that's going to support them so that they launch.
That's right, it's called Launch You, right?
Launch
Isn't it
You
Launch
Now.
You? Launch You Now, that's right. Wow.
Yeah.
So now I know there are many people who are watching it who are exactly that profile. There are many people who want to be launched and they want to, get their message out. So now for them, let's say if we start with the bringing out the brilliance part and the speaking.
Yes.
And how do you do that?
Yes.
So what would be your advice to them so they can do it better?
I'm so passionate about this.
Yes,
Yana.
please
I
talk.
gotta tell you. I'm so because people get so in their head when it comes to whether that's networking or clients or in front of an audience if they're actually speaking, and you need to speak for your business. It's not just I'm a speaker. It's like you need to speak in some way, even if it's in a relationship, right?
Yes,
So we all
talking
wanna
to your
have,
husband or your children and being understood,
Yes.
right? And conveying the message.
Yes, but people get in their head, and also with a certain, I won't say the organization, but there's some organizations and they spit out almost like robots and how they move their hands, and it's like an epidemic.
Contagious.
Yeah. And what I think I want to shift how you look at speaking. Instead of thinking, I've got to get the words right, I've got to make sure I say it just right, I've got to make sure I hit this exact mark in what I do, that's going to create constriction. And instead, you allow the possibility that there is a million different ways that it could come out, and all can be brilliant depending on if connection is there. Connection is number one, then the content and the words follow, because you are the engine for your message. You are the delivery system of your message, and people are connecting to your energy far more than the words that you say. And that's been proven in countless studies. And I'd love to share a study, but it would take too much time. I'd rather get to what people can do.
Okay.
So we start with the principle, though, that you understand when you can click into that connection, and when you're in front of an audience, a way to click into that connection, or even if it's a small group, instead of looking like you have to look around like this and make sure everyone's included, that diffuses your focus. Diffuses your own focus, but it diffuses the audience's or the group's focus. Instead, what you do, it's a one-on-one conversation that comes through one person's eyes. So you feel like this is one person, and you look in one person's eyes, and you have that one-on-one conversation like they're your best friend or your favorite client, and hold that longer than you think. And now the next person, one-on-one and one-on-one. And that person over here, even though you're looking here, is going to feel like you were talking to them. And it creates this focus and this power and this presence. That alone is huge. Don't just think eye contact. Really think I'm connecting with this person that I'm looking at. And even if you're scared about speaking, that actually lowers the nerves. When you give yourself that permission to connect in that way, and I've seen it again and again with the people that I've worked with. So I have a speak formula.
Yes.
So I'd love to share it. I'm going to have to share
Please
it quickly.
do. That's very generous.
Obviously it's great to go in further depth, but I'll cover it real quickly. And it covers SPEAK. So S.
Like speak.
Yes, speak. Right. Oh, how interesting. Speak. Right. So S is to smile when you talk. It's sales 101, right? When you're on the phone, even you want to smile when you talk because that gets your energy up. It also creates rapport, especially in person. You were brilliant at that when you spoke the other night that I saw you speak.
Thank you. About YanaTV. Yes, thank you.
When we smile, we sometimes think we're smiling, but we're not because we're getting in our head and the smile isn't reaching our face. And when you smile, it also connects you back into your heart. And when you're speaking from the heart, that also amplifies connection. So smile when you talk. P, yes, T, and P is to play with how you say it. That means have a sense of playfulness under the surface. That's going to ease up your nerves. That's going to give you more permission to play with the words, or you might discover something you wouldn't have if you gave yourself permission to play. And I mean also play with how you say it. Right now I just said play with how you say it.
Yes, you moved, but your tone changed.
Right,
yes.
But if I had said play with how you say it,
yes, ma'am.
Yes. It goes down.
Right. Yeah.
And I see this, like, especially in the business world, there's this paradigm, or if they're an expert, I got to speak really seriously, so now you'll take me seriously, or I'm on stage, so I got to show you that I'm the authority and the expert, and I'm going to speak in this way.
I feel like I'm a bit afraid of you right now if you talk like this.
You look very scary right now. But it actually creates a disconnect. I mean, yes, there's a paradigm that people think that's what I have to do then, and then that'll make me an authority figure. And actually, that diffuses your connection. So when you can allow that playfulness, like think of Richard Branson, right?
Yes.
He's kind of successful. It kind of works. And I did the Wow Factor, which is that speaking training in Wall Street. And venture capitalists were coming up to me going, oh my God, please bring this work to our industry. We need you so much. People come in and lawyers. I mean, so this works. So play with how you say it. E is for the energy with which you speak. The energy with which you speak. That means they're connecting to your energy far more than the words that you say, but it also means have that passion and that conviction. You have that passion and that conviction, that galvanizes them, that connects immediately to them. And that also, raises the power of your presence too. So the energy with which you speak.
I must say here, okay, I must ask the question. For
Yes.
people who might find it difficult to connect to their passion or bring out the passion when they talk, is there any advice for them? How do you actually bring it out if maybe your personality is not very passionate one?
Okay, well, let's finish the speak formula because some of that's in there.
Okay.
And then I'll get to the.
Okay.
I actually have one of the techniques that I work with in people.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's a perfect lead into the A, which is to authentically amplify. And I mean authentically amplify. So it has to come from an authentic connection first, and then you amp it up. You give yourself permission to amp up the energy of how you deliver it. Often we think, oh, that's going to be over the top or too much. But when it's coming from a connected place, it actually amplifies your presence and it actually brings up even more passion and fire and energy.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
And then
so
I'll share with you.
the energy, yes.
Yeah, and I'll share with you the technique afterwards. But and then K is to know who you are. K-N-O-W, know who you are.
No, that's right.
That's right,
Know who you are,
K-N-O-W.
yes.
And that means that two things. It means don't try to be like somebody else.
Like Richard Branson
It-
or
yeah.
Lynn Ross, if you're not sure, right?
Or Tina Turner, they were trying to make her like Diana Ross.
Yeah.
And to get that, thank God she didn't. All that fire and passion, trying to be baby love, my baby, that would be lost, right? So you want to be, or Diana Ross trying to be Tina Turner wouldn't work. You want to be who you are and honor the way it comes through you, and also know that there's so much more available to you than you even know. There's so much more of it. You might think, no, this is just where I am. I work with people that seemed like they might have been, quote unquote, hopeless cases. And then you see a transformation. So to just know and trust that there's even more available to you than you've even tapped into yet. And now a technique, like how someone can be able to, let's say they're feeling stiff or nerves, or how can they get that passion or fire worked up, is when we do the workshop, one of the things that we do, we have I call it a sandbox. We're going to jump in the sandbox now, and now we're going to just play with it. All right, and I have them play with a minute or 30 seconds of their speech, and I have them make sure they're connected first, but now take it over the top. Just be willing to take it over the top and really play with it, like you're just a kid and you're playing with it. And if you have to, even move your body, because you want to get in your body. So you move your body like this, or sometimes we're not going to have you do it this way, but try it on this way. Move your body, dance around while you do it. And they start discovering what's possible. They start finding another way of how it can come through them, which has them tap into that passion and that energy.
Wow. Okay, wow. That's a lot of tips. And without being greedy, I still would like to ask.
Yes.
Given that you do a lot of work with videos,
Yes.
right? And you do a lot of live streaming, and you help people to launch their online presence.
Oh, yes.
So what is your take on that?
Well, first of all, if you're an expert, and you are an expert, whether you're in real estate or a lawyer, you are an expert in some way, right?
Yes.
And even if you're a housewife, okay, you're an expert of being able to take care of the home and your kids. Okay?
Absolutely.
Right? So, live stream is the wave of the future, and it's the most amazing way to connect with your clients and your target audience, or even just to connect with others. And there's Periscope, there's Facebook Live, there's now YouTube Live, or it's maybe called something else. And people can then come on, you're live broadcasting from your phone, and they even can connect with you and ask questions. You can see the comments as they go by, and it creates an instant intimacy. But I've been on Periscope since day one, and there's research, and we've seen results. Nothing converts more than that live stream.
Okay.
People instantly respond. You try to send out emails, barely get much of a response, but when you are just talking about it and it's this conversation on the live stream, people respond. Bob Doyle, my other half, with his business, he thought, oh, I'll throw out this thing I'll offer to them if they like. And he had all these people signing up. They thought, wow, this works.
Okay, live stream.
Live stream.
I got that.
Yes.
So now, are there any techniques around messaging?
Oh, good, sure. Yeah.
How can you do it maybe in the better way for those people who don't have much experience?
Yes. Well, obviously, when you're networking, really I'm thinking about, like, we create videos, like we call the calling card video, where it really encapsulates who you are and the promises that you deliver. And you want it in a way, especially today in today's internet.
Yes.
They're there for 3 seconds or they're gone.
Yep.
So you want to capture their attention. First of all, you want to make sure you have that energy, that aliveness, maybe even make it entertaining in some way. That's going to have you stand out and have them stay and want to see more. But there's several different techniques or ways of messaging, and that first 10 seconds is golden. So in that first 10 seconds, a technique to capture them. One is called the this or that. That's like the infomercial, where you say, here, the contrast, here's the problem, and here's the solution. So it could be, do you want to be living the rest of your life like this, like a couch potato? Or do you want to be living the rest of your life like this? Woohoo! There's like this or that, okay? And one of our clients is an 80-year-old, just so full of life. That was his opening. And to see him dancing around like
well,
this.
80 years old, clearly.
Ageless attitude. So it was perfect for him. But the this or that, what could that be for you? Another is to have an interesting statistic that stands out. Like, did you know that 1 minute of video will convert far greater than 1 million words of copy? Now, that is a study, I forget the name of where that came from. And I don't-
Doesn't matter,
Yeah,
but
exactly. And I'm not exactly, I think that there might be other studies that maybe not a million words, okay? But an example, if you said, did you know that a statistic like that, then your antenna goes up and says, really? I got to find out more. Now they want to stay and watch more. So an interesting statistic. And then also a question that taps right into their pain. Did you know that it's not you, but actually that toxic conversation that goes on in your head that's standing in the way of your health? Like if you asked a question like that, they're like, oh, I want to learn more. So you would think of either the this or that, a statistic, or asking an interesting question that taps into their pain.
Thank you so much, Lynn. This is like every vote is golden, okay? So I don't even know which one is my favorite. I love it all. I love it all, absolutely.
Good.
So, and just the final question for today, in 10 years from now, okay, where would you like to be in your life and work?
Oh, I love you for asking that question. Well, first of all, I love hearing back from people I've worked with and hearing their major success. We've had people who are TV shows, this billion-dollar CEO I worked with saying how it utterly transformed his ability to speak and the difference that made. So hearing back from the people I've worked with and just seeing the ripple effect, that I want to continue. And I know for me personally, because in front of the scenes, I want to create a community of people that I call wow makers, and really about getting your voice out in the world in a positive way. And we can do that in social media. We can do that in just how we are with each other. And I have all sorts of, I have music, TV show. I want to be out there delivering that kind of message, that your voice matters, and let's use our voice for good. And I have a secret dream that I see and I feel and I taste.
Yes.
And I'm at the Hollywood Bowl, and I'm singing a song that I wrote from the heart. And it's an event that's doing good in the world in some way. And I can feel the lights and feel the audience, and then sharing some inspiration.
Oh.
So I just see that clearly, and that to me that's my defining moment, that defines having reached that pinnacle.
I would absolutely love to be there.
Oh,
to support
I would love
you,
that.
okay?
Let's make that happen.
So let's make that happen.
Oh.
We're setting an intention.
We made Singapore happen.
Exactly.
We're going to make that happen.
We're going to make that happen. And that was Lynn Ross on YanaTV, who is incredible. So each word is golden in this interview, and you guys make sure you implement all the tips. And we talk to you next week with another incredible guest. See you soon.
Every person is born unique. Take a look at the world we live in. There's 7.5 billion people in the world, and not anyone in this world is like us, like me, right? And this teaches us that each one is a unique, special individual. That also means that we bring some unique things inside us. And I'm here living my life with other people. I have to share that with others.